One of the last things I'm doing to this Corvette before I put the body back on the frame is putting some insulation under the transmission tunnel. And I've already got most of it installed. I didn't try to video me down under here rolling around on the floor doing it because it was going to be too difficult. But now that it's in, I'm going to tell you what I did. Here's some of the scraps left over, but basically it's a aluminum foil on the outer surface, and then it's got about a 3/16 or so of fiberglass insulation in here, and then there's a adhesive backing on the underneath side with a clear plastic piece on it that you peel right off, and then it just sticks in place. It's quite an aggressive adhesive, so you need to make sure that you've got it positioned where you want it before you stick it down. This particular product is made by Design Engineering Incorporated, and it's good for, I think, 1200 degrees or so. You can look at their website and get all the particulars about that. And what I did first was make some, these are just kind of a heavy gauge cardboard or poster board. Made some templates to use that fit in there the way I needed them to. Then traced around it on the insulation material, and then just cut it out. And I just used some kind of heavy gauge scissors. It didn't cut easily, but it did cut okay. And I started with my two sides and kind of peeled the clear backing off about this far down, and then got it set up in the top here and kind of pushed it down all along the edge. I did have to make a couple of slots here. These are some tabs that stick straight out here to hold the insulation in place. Now, this was for the original insulation, which didn't have an adhesive back. But anyway, I cut some slots here so it would push through on there, and then I folded those over. But I just got it stuck along the top and then started working it down little by little. You can see I had to cut a little wedge or cut a slice in here, and then I put a wedge in after the piece in order to let it lay down properly. Had a couple more little tabs back here, but I put one side on, then I did the same thing on this side here, and then I came and laid all this in the top here, another little piece right back here. Now what I'm going to do is take some adhesive backed foil tape and lay across the seams here on both sides. Anywhere there's a seam or a joint, I'll probably put some right across here too. This is what I'll be using right here. It's just an aluminum foil tape. I got this at Lowe's. I think you can get it at any hardware store. It's not very thick, but it has a good adhesive on the back, and that'll just help seal those seams from any water or oil or stuff getting in there. And I didn't mention it, but when I was putting this stuff down, well, I had this roller that I could kind of roll it in place, and I had this upholstery tool that helps to push on it and, you know, get it in the corners and what have you. Here's what it looks like with the tape in place, the foil tape. One more thing I'd like to do, you can see on the front edge here this exposed fiberglass, and if water or oil gets back in here, it's just going to soak into that. So I'd like to kind of seal that, at least all along this front edge. I'm not too worried about the bottom, because if stuff gets up in there, why, gravity's going to just keep pulling it back out. But up here, if it gets wet, it's going to go down in there, and that may, over time, cause it to try and pull loose from the underneath side of the body. What I'm going to try and do, you can see I've kind of masked this off, left myself about a 1/4 inch gap there. And I'm going to take some of this high quality sealant adhesive caulk type stuff, and I'm going to try and just put a bead right up around there, kind of put a little radius in it, and then I can pull the tape off and hopefully have a neat joint, and then after it cures, while this stuff is paintable, I can come back in here and paint that, and hopefully it'll look pretty good. So let me just start right here. And it is black, so I may not even have to paint it. But this will do two things. It'll seal that fiberglass and also help keep it attached to the body up front here. I think maybe that's going to work. Doesn't look too bad. A little messy, but I think it'll do the job.